All right, in the last session, we have seen how to distribute the data into different sheets because sometimes there may be a situation where we get millions of data, okay, in one particular sheet, and you want to distribute into different sheets. As we have taken the example, like we have different sales representative. I'm working in a sales department. I'm getting a file, huge file with all the sales representative who made a different sales today. Okay, how many transactions they've done. So I want to understand by distributing this data so that tomorrow I can create a beautiful visualization or create some insights. Based on that, I can create I can send it out to the business area. So that's how we just tried with the VBA, and we could able to achieve within few seconds of distributing the data. And manually, if you're doing, it will take a lot of time. Guys, here the very important thing which we need to understand is, if my boss asks me to do this distribution, I may do by taking 5 or 6 hours manually, no problem. But if he says this data is incorrect, what I've given to you, can you just redo? Just imagine how much efforts I need to put. Again, 5 hours I need to spend. Now, no more spending more time on this. Just I'll clear this data. Whatever the new data my boss is giving, simply I'll just click on this button to distribute the data within no time. Within no time, irrespective of the size of the data. That's what we made dynamic. And anytime if you feel these sheets are yesterday sheets and we want to delete because we want to produce today's data, just click on the delete sheets. Everything will be deleted and everything is normal. Now, today what we are planning to do is, intend to do is, this is very, very important because having completed moving data to different sheets, now it's time to same distribute this data into different workbooks. That means what I want to do is, in simple words, I want to open the file what my boss has sent to me. I want to see how many people are there. Okay. I'm just trying to do manually now. Because before I write the macro, I want to understand how this can be done manually. If this can be done manually, that means you can easily automate. So first I'm selecting a person called Aishwarya here. I can see her transactions for today, almost like some transactions are there. Okay. Now I want to copy this data. I want to copy this data. If I'm doing manually, how I'm going to do? Simply, I'll use Control N to create a new workbook, brand new workbook. I'll simply paste it, and I will try to do certain kind of modifications if possible. Okay, something like increasing the width, decreasing the size, whatever the things I've done. Then I want to click on this. Before clicking on this, I will also like to do. This is a representative name is Aishwarya, so I want to put the sheet name also Aishwarya. Now, what I want to do is I want to go to my desktop, save it, and create a new folder. Let's assume I'm creating a new folder here. Uh, today's files. Okay, I just created just for fun. Now pasted the Aishwarya name here, Ash. Then I save the workbook. Then once I save the workbook, what I need to do is I need to close. I'm trying to concentrate on each and every step which I do manually because that helps me. Nobody is going to help me. That helps me while writing the code. Effectively, I can write the code. Whatever the process I've done through the manual, the same thing can be automated. Now, once the job is done, there is no need of using this file anymore. I can close it, right? Now the file is closed. Now I need to do for the next person. Who is the next person? Just unselect the Aishwarya because it's already done. Make no sense. Ajinkya is the next guy. So what I'll do is I'll go to this entire data of Ajinkya, copy it, go to the new file, brand new file again, paste it. Okay, this representative name is Ajinkya. I pasted here. Then I'll save this file. I'm not using any macros, nothing. Simply I'm trying to do. Okay, I'm just saving the file. Now go to this close button, just close it because the job is done. Now I'll unfilter it. Again, I filter it. I'll go to the third person. Just imagine how many times I need to keep doing this. Okay, I have patience. I'm very good at Excel skills. I can do it within no time, 4 or 5 years. Maybe you are taking 3 hours. I'm taking 5 hours because of the skills what we have are not same. So what if everything is done by end of the day in a folder called today's file? I created two participant data, okay, personal data of their transactions. I created in the same way 90 files. Just imagine 90 files are created. I'm thinking the job is done. I've done a great job. But immediately my boss said, delete all the files because the file what I've given is wrong. Can you recreate it? Just imagine how much time does it going to take again to create all this 95 or I don't know how many files are there. Let's see. If you go to this file, now how do I find how many representations? Just copy it and paste somewhere else just for understanding to remove the duplicates. Remove the duplicates and say okay. That's it. Now from Ajinka, I can see up to Firoz. I have almost, I'm not able to see at the bottom. This is 94 files I'm going to create now manually. Just imagine it's not so easy creating. Even though if it's easy, tomorrow if any data changes again, I need to recreate. And assuming that this is a daily job, even if it is a weekly, it's fine. But if it is a daily job, it's a very painful job. So you want to automate this. And you can guess it, the way we have created distributing the data into differentiate, the same thing can be done now by, let me show you how we distributed data consolidation. This is data distribution. Here, what is the trick I've done is, first I created, I just went to data sheet. This is my data sheet. Okay, I went to data sheet. I copied the C column because this is a column where I have all the participant names. But if you look at this, Ajinkya has repeated 17 times. The reason is he made that many transactions on that day or different dates, whatever. So I want to remove the duplicate. So before that, I just created a manual sheet and named it as temporarily rep, just like that. And after that, I pasted the data. I removed it completely duplicates to find out the actual number of people who are really made sales today. Because today 94, tomorrow it could be 100, and next day being there are a lot of people on leave, so only 10 people are working. So what does it mean? So what it mean is if 10 people are there, we are supposed to generate 10 files or 10 sheets. If we have 100 people, we need to generate 100 working files or 100 sheets, whatever it might be. So in that case, I need to find out what is the last row. That means today, how many people are working, only LRO can give me the last number captured. So later on, I'm trying to find what is the first name I have in this list. Ajinkya. Next, we have Amit. That's how I'm going to understand who is the person, because it's not always the order will be same. Because tomorrow, if this guy is not there, it starts with Amit. So I cannot hard code anywhere in my code saying that always pick up Amit. Maybe Amit is not there tomorrow. Okay, maybe for 1 week he's on leave. That means I'm not supposed to produce any file on his name because he has not done any transactions, right? He has not made any sales. It could be anything for that matter. So after that, I'm creating a new sheet, brand new sheet, and giving a name. Then I'm pasting a data after auto filtering in the data. Okay, in the data, I'm going to auto filter and copying that information and pasting in that particular sheet. I'm going to the next sheet. So that is what we have done in terms of distribution of data. What I'll do is simple trick. I'll copy this entire code, what I've done. I'll go to the new brand new module. So let's see how we can modify the same file distribution data into, let's say, into workbooks, right? So now this entire stuff I'm going to change to a workbooks. So we need to understand carefully if you have gone through completely the comments, because for each and every line I've written the comment. Now go slowly and check where exactly I'm trying to create a sheet and pasting the data. There you need to avoid the lines. That means this is where I'm creating a sheet. So let's comment it, because I don't want to create a sheet now. What do you want to create? You want to create a workbook now. You don't want active sheet name also you want to be changed. Okay, don't change it. Now this entire program works well, but it's not creating a new sheet to paste the new, data from that particular data set. What is our data set? This is our data set. Tomorrow it could be anything. Now I avoided creating a new sheet because I'm not interested in sheets anymore. I want to create a workbook. So what you're gonna do is just see where you want to create. Just come down and see you have auto filtered, you have copied the data. After that, before pasting, you want to create a new workbook altogether. So for that, if I want to create a new sheet, simply I'm saying sheets.add, but now I'm not adding sheets. I want to add a workbook. Let's say adding new workbook. All right, adding a new workbook. How you add a new workbook? I want to say workbooks.add. Simply you added a workbook, we have not done anything. So what is the different thing I need to do here so that really I can create a new workbook for each person? The way you have created sheets, I repeat, the way you have created a new sheet for each person. Here, this time you are creating new workbook for each person. 94 participants, 94 sales guys, 94 employees, whatever the case might be, 94 workbooks I'm not creating or not writing 94 times. I'm keeping in the loop. That is what we have seen in the last two sessions. Here, I just added a workbook. After adding a new workbook, I want to name it, right? That's what I've done in manually. I want to name it. So what you're gonna do is active sheet dot name equals to what name you want to give. The name is already been stored in a variable called rep name. So let's say your variable name is rep. So that means whenever you add a new workbook, you want to change the name of the sheet. Yes, it's changed. Sheet, let's say sheet name change. Okay, sheet name is changed. After that, you want to paste the data into the workbook. So this is also, this one also will not work. The reason is, okay, so let's say, yeah, this will work. So that's it. Nothing much actually. If you look at closely and if you have understood last 4 5 programs, mini projects, I can see, we are just adding a sheet. Now we are trying to add a workbook. Let's see if it really works. Okay. If you look at the entire program, what is missing? It knows how to add a workbook. It knows how to paste the data. Everything is fine, but we are not saving the workbook. So that means once the data is pasted, we want to save the workbook. How we are going to save? Because earlier we are creating a sheet, there is no need to save. Now I am trying to save workbook, right? Now I need to save active workbooks dot. We can use save as, which we used earlier. Okay, here I want to give the path. Okay, I don't know what is the path. So let me go to this today's file folder. Let me delete all, everything is deleted. So I'll just right click and copy as a path. So once I copy it, now I got the path of the today's file. I'll go to this save as. Where you want to save the first parameter. If I just place a space bar here, it is asking you, can you please provide the file name or the path where you want to save this entire workbook? Okay, I just given my path here, very simple. All right, after saving the workbook, what is the name you want to give for that file, right? So right now you have created a workbook, you pasted the data, you created the sheet, but you have not given the file name. What should be the file name? I'm not sure, because first time it's Ajinka, next time it's Amit, next time it is Devi, it could be anything. So I'm not sure. So the name of the person is being saved in the variable called rep name. So just copy it or just write it manually, doesn't matter. Now, how you're going to concatenate two things? You are going to use ampersand, double quotes, slash, double quotes, ampersand. We are going to use that name, that rep name. Okay, now the workbook is going to be saved in that particular folder. Excellent. Now let me see if it really works or I'm going to face any kind of errors. Let's try to see that. I'm also opening the folder so that I can see the files which are being created right now. This is my folder path. That is today's file. And this is my Excel file. Let me put this Excel file also in one of the block here, something like this. And that's it. And this, I'm trying to make it 50% so that you can see while running how it works. So the first and foremost thing is I'm running this. Hold on, guys. All right, now we are trying to use F8 key to slowly navigate to each and every line to see where exactly the issue can be, because now we are transforming the entire sheet concept to a workbook concept. Now, when I say F8 key, the first thing it is trying to check what is the current time. Okay, that's fine. Now it is going to data sheet. Okay, it went to data sheet. It's copying the C column. Okay, it's copied. After that, it's creating a new tab called sheet one. For that, I want to give a name called rep, just like that, because it's a temporary name. Once I pasted the data there, you will see all these customer names or sales representative names or employee names are repeated. We don't want that names to be repeated, because once you get the unique names, based on each name, I can start creating a new workbook the way you created for the worksheets. Now, once this is done, I'm trying to remove the duplicates. Working fine. Now I have only the unique names here. After that, I'm trying to find how many people are there, how many people are there for today, how many people are really working. That's how I can understand. That's how I can understand. So based on the number of people, I'm should be ready to create that many files here. So once I'm finding first time it is two, that is I'm starting with two, Ajinkya. The first person here is Ajinkya here, and that guy. First, we need to go to data. We need to filter the data, copy the data, create a new workbook, paste there, save it. That's it. The way I'm doing, I'm trying to do the same thing in the help of a macro here. I'm going to the data tab. Why I'm going back to data tab? Because I want to filter the data. If you don't filter, you'll not understand, okay, it's filtered with Ajinkya now. I'm copying this entire stuff. I'm creating a new, brand new workbook here. Okay, it's created. After creating a new workbook, you want to give a name, nice name to it. I mean, as per the employee name, you given the name here. Let's see if it has given. Okay, it has given the name. After that, you want to uh, paste the data. This is not required because we are already in the same sheet, so it doesn't require. Now I'm pasting the data. After pasting the data, what exactly we require is we want to save this file or workbook in a particular location which you have given the path here. Let me save it. Okay, the file is saved. The file is saved. Let me see if the file is saved. Yes, the file is already created, but the thing is it is not closing. So once you start testing for one file, something the way I'm doing, F8 key, F8 key, and checking what are the possibilities of errors here, that's how we can understand. And we can just click on the button and run all the files just like that. So for the first time or the second time, keep checking for the F8 key and find the issues here. After saving the workbook, this is not, I'm like not liking it. It has to close the workbook. To close the workbook, we need to say whatever the active workbook is there, that is the active workbook, then we have to close it, right? Once the job is done, we have to close it. So let's see if it is closing it or not. I'm just going back a little bit. I'm trying to say close. Okay, it's closed. Now let's try to explore one more person also, because I'm not sure if this code is really working. Now I'm going to a data tab. I'm trying to find auto filter. I'm this time I'm filtering with Amit, not Ajinka again, because the file is already created. I'm copying the current data. I'm creating a new workbook altogether and giving a nice name to it as per the customer. And after giving the name, I'm pasting the data. After that, saving it. Once you save the file, there is no need this file to be opened on your screen, right? In that case, like 94, tomorrow 100, 200, 300 files will be opened and it will be completely mess up, right? So you need to close immediately once the file is created. Amit is also created. So that means, I hope like file is working without any issue. Now let me go for Arun. Arun is also working. It is working for next Bhaskar. It is working for next Devi. So that means I'm confident now it's working. There's no need to check more. Now what I'll do is I'll stop the macro here. I'll just, before I delete all these files which I've created just now, I want to just open one file and see if it is really created the what I'm exactly looking for. That is, it should, for example, in the Devi file, we should have only Devi information, nothing else. So let me open Devi file here. I should be seeing the sheet name properly and the data should be only Devi, nothing else. And the formatting all, you can just record and put it the way you want. Let me close this. I want to go to Pardiva now and to see if the data is perfectly pasted. Yes, perfectly pasted. So this is how we are able to manage to create a multiple workbooks. Now just imagine if your boss asked to create, again, recreate all the files, how much time does it take? Let's see. Now have representative, which is not really required, just delete it. I want to add one more button here. So let me copy this, paste it here. No, okay, insert. I want to go for any ship. Oh, It's completely clubbed. Shapes. Now I'm pasting one shape here just to make sure to give a proper name to that. I'm going to the formatting. I can change to anything I want. I'll go to the edit. I'll give that create workbooks, whichever makes sense for us. Just make it bigger so that we can see. That's it. Now this button is going to work a magic like a magic, but the thing is it doesn't know what to do. You need to give the instructions, go to assign macro and go to uh, this workbook and select the one which you have created, that is distribution data into workbooks. Excellent. Now say okay, your workbook is ready. But what we'll do is, without using those options, okay, without using that options called application and all, let's try to comment it. Oh, how do I comment all at once? We have this option. Okay, I commented this to see without using this display alerts, enable events, screen updating, how much time does it takes. I want to stop this also. Let it flicker. Okay, it's you know very well, if I don't use all these options, it will start moving from one workbook to another. Whatever the operation it is doing, it is going to show me everything. So that is a problem, but still let's try to see that how it works. End up that at the end, it is also showing the time, how much time it is going to save. Okay, so let me delete all the files so that I can see all the brand new files here. Here right now showing count 0, because as and when the file is created, you will see the number of files here created. Just clicking on create workbooks. The problem is when you're not using that application display alerts, it will keep showing that workbook is open, pasted, closed. It will show all these operations. During this process, it will take a lot of memory. At the same time, it will consume a lot of time. You can see within no time already we have created 8 files. So long way to go, that is 94 files. There are 13 files created. Even after not using that application concept, display alert, we are still in a good position to create these files. But the most bothering factor here is it is trying to show the book is moving here and there. So let's stop that thing so that we can save more time. Right now I'm at 28. So per second it is creating one book probably. So it will go up to 2 minutes maybe. 36, 37. I want to see the exact time to process this 94 files with 55,000 of rows of data. It could be more or less tomorrow, but how much time does it take? 53. So we almost reached to close to 70 now. That is, we have 24 files left. 94, 72. For me, there is no need to check each and every file because I'm so confident that after checking one or two files, it is doing the right job. That's it. That's the key here. There is no need to check 94 files if the data is printed correctly or not. No need. 80, just 14 to go. I think it's taking more time. It should not be more than 2 minutes, but if it takes, let's start optimizing the code. 86. That's it. 4 files to go. All right, so the file is completed now without any issues, and it's saying I've taken 2 minutes 57 seconds, guys. So almost close to 3 minutes. Just imagine, just to create all these 94 files. You need to find the key difference here. It is 2 minutes or 3 minutes, still fine, I can say, because rather than spending 5 hours or 6 hours, it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes lag is still okay. Okay. So let me delete all the files just like that, so that I can go back and do some more optimization, because we always wanted the automation to be much faster. 2 minutes, if you think it's very high, we can just uncomment all these things which we have given in the previous examples and this example also. We are trying to calculate what is the start time, what is the okay, and commented. So what this magic is going to do is the alerts, whatever the book is moving here and there, it will stop everything, it will compress. And if your workbook is automatic mode, it will try to make it manual, so that it will not take much time in terms of a calculation. So here is the key. I'm using the start time to find out when the macro is started, because when the macro is running, it will try to check from the starting line. It will come step by step. When it comes here, it will try to remember in the memory what is current day and time. After that, once it is completing the job, after it is completing the job that is coming out of the loop, here what it is doing, again it is checking what is the current time. So when I started macro, it is 4 o'clock. Okay, when I completed my macro at 4:30, so what is the difference between 4 and 4:30? That is how it is trying to minus. Okay, this is subtracting from current time to the start time what we started our journey at the beginning. So let's see, hope this should release the time from 2 minutes 57 seconds, let's assume as a 3 seconds. Now it should be much faster the way before. So I'm just clicking on it. Okay, expected this because a rep name should be deleted. It should be coming from the macro itself, not manually. So I'm seeing the workbook again, just create the workbooks, that's it. Now it should see, for the first time it will take some time, and for the next of the files you will not see the files are moving here and there. And I don't think so it's less than second, it's 10 already. By the time you're blinking your eye, it's 13 files, and the files are not moving here and there. That's the advantage of using that application. So make sure whenever you're writing any program, always use these 3 lines as a starting lines to make your code optimized to work faster, without any much noise. You can see there is no noise now. Silently, it is creating the workbooks without any issues. It's already 31, 32. I think it should be not more than 1 minute. 50% expecting. We reached to 52. Wherever there is more data, probably it's taking time. Otherwise, it's running fast. 73, 74, 75. That's it. 14, 4, 14 files to go. Probably it takes 10 seconds maybe. That's it, guys. So if you look at this, 2 minutes 11 seconds, earlier it was 3 minutes, now it is 2 minutes 11 seconds. So it also depends upon the file size. It also depends upon the number of rows. But this is the best way of optimizing your code. In the previous example, you might have seen like it was taking 1 minute. It drastically decreased to some 20 seconds or something. So these will keep changing because whenever your data size is changing. So that's how we could able to achieve creating number of files based on your data. So we have seen very beautiful examples. One is distributing data into sheets. Again, distributed data consolidating into one, the same data, consolidated data distributed into various workbook. Now it's a time to understand whatever the data is being distributed. Okay, if I want to send this Hari Krishna, or if I want to send this Jasmine file to only Jasmine email, how do I send? That is a very tricky part here, because we need to have all the information about the customers or the employees. I have 94 employees. I need to have 94 email IDs here. But let's try to take the email IDs from you. Let's take, we are four here, four email IDs I'm going to take. I'll try to send an email, and you're going to see that email is going to be in your email box. Let's see how to work with that. But before that, very first basic thing, how to create an Outlook application, how to connect to Outlook application, how to send any simple email first. Okay, we'll try to see a static email sending. Later on we'll slowly improve how to make it dynamic. So the first and foremost, don't try to think beyond the scenes. The reason is, when I'm learning Outlook, I want to see how to connect to it. Okay, that is the first step. After connecting it, how to send an email. That's it. After sending an email, definitely you have one more thought, how to add an attachment. Okay, that is the next level. After adding an attachment, how to send to only a particular person. Okay, if I'm sending Parthiva information, I should be sending to only Parthiva, because it's confidential. I should not be sending to someone else. So how we are going to manage all these triggers? So for that, we need to come step by step. Okay, let's begin with the very first step here. So before that, Zoom recording. All right, having seen how to create a different workbooks by using VBA, we have seen 94 was files were created in 2 minutes or 3 minutes, which is quite impressive, because when compared to manual hours, you have done extensively different job. Because if you start calculating the time on a daily basis, we have saved a lot of hours. And just imagine how much time you're saving on a monthly, quarterly, or yearly and yearly. So let's begin with the Outlook concept now, which is Outlook concept, where you want to see how to send an email to your stakeholder, your colleague, or whatever, if it is your daily job or weekly job. But doing automations for sending one email is not really appreciated. Just think in such a way where we have a lot of emails to be sent. For each person, we need to attach a different file. In that case, only try to go for this automation. Okay, so that's a very important note. Let me say Outlook here. Email, that's my module name, that's it. So after doing this, from here you need to think little different, as I'm sending an email from Excel to Outlook. So actually speaking, there is no connection between Outlook and Excel. So how you are going to make the connection? Let's see. First, I'm going to write as usual the macro name. I'm saying something like send email as my macro name. Then I'm going to declare a variable. It could be any variable, as we all know, been talking about it. The variable name can be anything. It could be my name, your name, but I'm trying to give such a name so that I can easily identify. I'm giving Outlook. Okay, by giving Outlook as a variable name, it will not become Outlook. It's just a name. So Outlook mail, or let's say app as Outlook. The thing is, The thing is, if you see, if I say dim I as integer, I'm getting it. If I say dim I as string, I'm getting it. So that means these are all data types or functions or procedures are really available in the Excel. But Outlook is something which is not available in the Excel. How do I get it? But if you see as dim Outlook app as, when I used as keyword, then I can use it as a string, then I can use it as an integer, but I want to use it as Outlook. If I say OUTLOK dot application, I'm not getting this intelligence. That shows you are not connected to Outlook. So how do I connect? So this is a very important step before we actually write down the code. So this is not the way to write the code. First, you need to ensure you have really built a connection with your Outlook. How to create the link? Just see here. Going to the tools, there is something called options. Once you go to the sorry, once you go to the tools, there is something called reference. So once you click on reference, what happens is it will try to show all those references which are really essential to work with your VBA. Okay, so if you see, there are a lot of libraries available here. Okay, a lot of references rather. If I want to connect to a PowerPoint, there is a library. If you want to connect to Outlook, there is a library. So I need to find out. This is a little not so easy to find out. What I do is basically I'll type M so that I'll reach to M. I keep clicking M till I found a reference library which will help me to connect to Outlook. Now I'll keep pressing this till I get the O letter after Microsoft. Um okay, I got Office here, then I got Outlook. Okay, I got Outlook here. Just let's make a note of this. That is Microsoft Outlook 16.0 object library. Okay, I said okay here. Let me write down here Microsoft object library, which is 16.0. So that means I'm using a 2016 version. So probably it has a 16-point version of Outlook object. If you're using older version, you'll find a different number. So don't worry, whatever the version you have, just click on that version and just invoke it. How I invoke it, let me go again, reference and see, do I need to find again? No. Whatever the selection done, it will come on the top. It will come on the top. You can see Microsoft Outlook 16.0 object library is activated on your system now. That means it is a reference library which will allow you to talk to Outlook applications. Now, once I say, okay, let's see the magic. Earlier, when I was saying dim Outlook app as something, okay, integer I'm still getting, string as a getting, object as a getting, but if I say Outlook, will I get? Yes, excellent. So I'm getting Outlook. So within this reference, related to all Outlook functions, that is methods, properties, everything you have. Now, once I say dot, I have this application also. So this is a trick here. Whenever you first you need to declare any variable. Here I'm taking just like apps so that I can remember, or else you can say A also. Okay, instead of remembering variables with A, B, C, rather it's better to whatever the application you are creating or whatever the project you are doing, try to give an appropriate name there. So that is the first variable which I declared. Next, let me declare one more variable, that is Outlook. What is that? Outlook mail as Outlook. Okay, it's a mail, so I need to say mail item. Yeah, mail item. Then that's it. So we have two variables here. Let me try to understand more. The very first one, I'm trying to create an application. Okay, I'm not really creating, actually I'm trying to connect with an Outlook application with a reference called Microsoft Outlook object library 16.0. After that, I'm trying to access that mailbox. Okay, I'm trying to access that mailbox. So under that, we have each mail is called as a mail item. Okay, so that is one more data type here. This is Outlook.application. Once these are created, we need to set to some variables. Okay, these have to be set to some variables. So let me take the same variable to set it as a variable, which you have seen set. We are setting in the sense we are trying to make use of these variables and attaching something to it. So we are going to create an object now that is equal to create. I say object. Okay, I'm able to access all those properties and methods which you usually will not get until you don't get that reference. So create object. After that, I want to use the same Outlook application. So that means you are trying to assign this Outlook application to a variable called Outlook app. So that is the second one. Okay, first step in setting the information. So these are the lines what I'm writing. It's by default you need to write whenever you want to connect your Outlook application. Okay, the next thing is, yeah, the same way like Outlook mail item also we need to set. So let me set very quickly. Set Outlook mail equals to what you want to do. That is, you want uh, here in this line we are trying to create an object of Outlook application. So that means this Outlook app is holding the application, whole application is holding, right? So that means I can use now this Outlook app. Okay, then dot create item. So the first item will be always index 0. That means we haven't started sending an emails yet, but the first one we are taking index as 0. So these are the four defined lines which we'll use. This is setting objects creating variables. That's it. Very simple. 4 lines mandatorily you need to write, and these are essential in order to move to the next line of code. So we also require now uh, uh, basically whenever you have set some variables, something like this. For example, if I say dim I as integer, then whenever I say I dot, I will not get anything, right? I will not get anything because this variable is just storing an integer, which is a I is a data type which can store integer, but it is not set to any variable. But what happens when you try to set any variable to variable, it becomes an object. Okay, it will become an object. So first time we are activating an app, then we are activating the mail. So after doing this, like under the mail item, whichever the mail you want to access, like first, whenever you just try to open Outlook, what is the first thing you'll do? You'll try to go to a new mail. So nothing but you are putting an index as 0. So that is the first one. After that, you want to send to whom? So that means dot to. So dot to. Now let me say again, after to, what will be the next one? You may be using CC. Okay. The next one, you might be using, what is that? To CC, BCC also you may use. Okay, Outlook mail dot. After that, you'll use something called subject maybe. Okay, we'll use subject. Outmail. It's not email. It is mail. Yeah, subject. After that, what else you'll have? That is Outlook mail dot. We have something called body. Okay, what information you want to give in the body. Then we'll have something called Outlook mail dot. You want to send something attachments maybe attachments. After everything is done, okay, so we are activating the app. We are trying to find out the first email, which is an empty record. Then you are sending to whom you're sending, who is the CC, who is the BCC, what should be the subject, what should be the body, what should be the attachment. After everything is done, you want to say Outlook dot, Outlook email dot, you want to say send. There are 3 options here. Let's see. One is send, one is save, Outlook dot mail dot draft, save or display. Yeah. So I'll comment all these things first now to understand this entire concept. So when I say to whom you're sending, all right. So in the Outlook email, we have given email to address to whom you want to send. CC, we have given one email, and in the BCC, we have given some email. You can give multiple emails. This the way you give in the Outlook. Within a single line, you can give multiple emails to send multiple people at once. But this is not the best way of sending email, because if you just closely look at this program, which is really not good. The reason is I am hard coding the email here. Do I send all the time to Ajinka only? No. The data will be keep changing, right? You'll be having 100 emails. Sometimes you have only 10 emails to be sent. Sometimes you have 0 emails to be sent. But here, this program works all the time, sending an email to only this guy, which is not good, right? So let's see if this works. Then we'll slowly step down to making it more dynamic. Now, the very first step, I'm using F8 key here. So it is giving an error at the 2. What is that? Oops. 2 equals to, I have not given equals to whom you're sending equals to subject should be equals to, then body should be equals to. Have forgot the equal to, you will need to give the 2 equal to whom you're sending. So let me use F8 key here. It is not ignoring the variables as usual. Then it is creating an object which will take a little bit of time. Once it is connected to Outlook,